Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If she smiles at you, but slowly pulls away, it's not because you're boring. It's because you're invisible in a way you don't even realize. And today, I'm going to show you how one simple word can shift the entire emotional temperature between you and her. Before we go deeper, subscribe and like this video. Not for me, for you. Because the men who understand emotional language win in silence, while everyone else keeps guessing. I'm speaking to you not just as a psychologist, but as a woman who has listened to thousands of women confess what they would never admit publicly. Attraction is not always about height, money, or status. It's about how a man makes her nervous system feel. Safety, excitement, recognition. A nickname, when used correctly, touches all three. But here's what most men do wrong. They copy what they heard in a movie or from a friend. They throw around babe or baby without intention, and she feels it. It sounds generic, replaceable, like you've said it to 10 women before her. Women don't fall for vocabulary. They fall for emotional precision. When you give a woman a nickname that feels personal, you signal something powerful. I see you, not women, you. That creates intimacy faster than compliments ever could. This is not manipulation. It's emotional calibration. There's a difference. Manipulation tries to control. Calibration understands and responds. The right nickname lowers her defenses because it feels like a private doorway between the two of you. It becomes a shared secret, a soft psychological anchor, and anchors build attachment. But timing matters more than the word itself. Too early, and it feels forced. Too late, and you miss the emotional window. You must understand her energy first. Is she playful, guarded, ambitious, soft-spoken? Your choice must reflect her, not your fantasy of her. What I'm about to share with you are 9 nicknames women secretly melt over, not because they sound cute, but because of what they communicate underneath. And underneath is where attraction truly lives. Here's the thing most men will never admit to themselves. A woman doesn't want just a name. She wants acknowledgement. She wants to feel like someone sees her essence, not just her body or smile. That's why nicknames are powerful. They are psychological shortcuts straight to her emotions. When used correctly, they create an invisible thread between you, a pull she can't rationalize but feels in her chest. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman who's always independent, always in control. You call her something like sunshine or princess, without understanding her personality. It falls flat, she shrugs it off. But now imagine you notice her sharp wit or the way she quietly commands a room and you call her maverick. Suddenly she's intrigued, maybe even flustered. That one word communicates that you see her unique power, and that recognition is intoxicating. Most men make the mistake of aiming for flattery. They think, if I call her beautiful, she'll like me. No. She hears that every day. But when you give her a nickname that recognizes her uniqueness, you trigger something primal, the feeling that she is understood. And once that spark is lit, her attention, her curiosity, and her subconscious attraction are all engaged. This is why timing, context, and tone are everything. Whispered during a moment of playful teasing, a nickname becomes a secret code between you two. Spoken casually in a group, it sets you apart subtly without seeming needy or over-eager. It's invisible psychology. She notices it, but she can't tell why she's thinking about you more than anyone else. Here's a truth most men miss. Nicknames bypass logic. They're emotional accelerators. Compliments sit on the surface. Nicknames burrow deeper. And once a woman associates a word with you and her emotions, it becomes a trigger. Even on a bad day, you can say it, and her defenses soften instantly. I'm going to teach you exactly which 9 nicknames have this effect, and why each one works on a subconscious level. By the end of this, you won't just be someone she likes, you'll be someone she remembers, in a way that lingers long after the conversation ends. This isn't charm, it's psychology, and when you understand it, you step into a space most men never reach, a space of effortless attraction, curiosity, and emotional influence. Let's start with the first nickname, a word so simple, yet so powerful, that when used correctly, It makes her feel like she's your world without saying it outright. That word is star. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about calling every woman you meet a star because it sounds flattering. That's lazy and predictable. I'm talking about observing her energy, her presence, the way she lights up a room, and giving her a name that reflects that uniqueness. When she hears you call her star, she feels seen in a way that cuts deeper than any compliment could. It's validation, it's admiration, and it's intimacy wrapped in one word. Here's the psychological mechanism behind it. Women are wired to notice who notices them, really notices them. And a nickname that mirrors her essence sends a signal. I see you differently than everyone else. That small recognition triggers a rush of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. She starts associating comfort, intrigue, and attraction with you because only you called her that. But there's a catch. Timing and delivery are everything. You can't just text it randomly or blurt it out during a casual conversation. The magic happens in moments of emotional resonance, when she's laughing at something you said, when she's sharing a personal story, or when the mood between you is charged with subtle tension. That's when star lands and ignites curiosity and warmth simultaneously. Women secretly crave this level of acknowledgement because most men don't do it. Most men stick to safe territory. Babe, honey, sweetheart. Words she's heard 1,000 times. But a personalized nickname creates exclusivity. It becomes your language, a private code that says without words, you are extraordinary to me. And here's the kicker. Once she internalizes that feeling, she starts seeking more of it. She remembers your attention, your tone, the moment you said it. Every interaction after that carries a subtle undercurrent of connection, even if she's trying not to admit it. So, star isn't just a cute nickname, it's a psychological lever. It transforms ordinary moments into emotionally charged memories. And once she experiences that, the foundation for attraction, deep, compelling, magnetic attraction, is already set. The second nickname I want to reveal is Firecracker. And before you roll your eyes, hear me out. This one is not about being cute or random. It's about acknowledging her energy, her unpredictability, and the spark that makes her who she is. Women crave recognition of their uniqueness, especially when it's bold and unapologetic. Firecracker does exactly that. It communicates, I see your intensity and I admire it. Most men shy away from this because they fear strong women. They'd rather soften her, calm her, or avoid her unpredictability. But here's the secret. Women aren't drawn to men who dilute themselves to fit in. They are magnetically pulled toward men who embrace and celebrate their fire. When you call her Firecracker, it tells her, without saying it outright, that you're awake, alert, and genuinely interested in who she is, not who she pretends to be. Now, here's the psychology behind it. A nickname like this taps into her subconscious thrill circuits. It positions you as someone who notices her vitality, her excitement, her life force. When she hears it from your lips, her mind associates you with admiration, playfulness, and a sense of challenge, the exact combination that creates chemistry. Timing, again, is everything. Firecracker works best in moments where she's showing her lively, bold, or mischievous side. Maybe she's teasing you, maybe she's laughing loudly, maybe she's sharing a bold opinion. That's your cue. Delivered at the right moment, it feels spontaneous, personal, and electrifying. Delivered at the wrong time, it could feel sarcastic or forced. And let's not underestimate the subtle power of exclusivity. She'll never forget that one man who gave her a nickname that resonated so deeply with her personality. It sets you apart. It becomes a private signal, a code she can't explain to anyone else. That's what creates emotional attachment. She doesn't just like you, she remembers you. Most men don't realize that these small linguistic choices are like emotional fingerprints. They leave a trace in her mind that others can't touch. She begins to feel drawn to you not because of how you look or what you say, but because you see her in a way nobody else does. By understanding this, you begin to step into a level of attraction most men never reach, a space where desire, curiosity, and emotional connection are built subtly but powerfully. The third nickname that carries almost invisible but explosive psychological power is muse. Think about that word for a second. It doesn't just flatter, it elevates. Calling a woman muse communicates that she inspires you, that she shapes your thoughts, your energy, your creativity. And here's the critical part. Women secretly crave to feel needed, not for chores or favors, but for the emotional space they hold in your mind. Most men will compliment appearance, humor, or intelligence, but few men recognize the effect a woman has on their internal world. That's where muse comes in. It signals, without overtly saying it, that she is rare, impactful, unforgettable. It's not casual, it's intentional. And that intentionality alone sets you apart from the 95% of men who speak without depth. Here's why this nickname works on a subconscious level. Women are wired to notice who pays attention to their essence. Beauty fades. Looks can be replicated. But the way someone reflects your influence back to them, that's personal. That's emotional gravity. When you call her muse, she feels like she occupies a unique emotional position in your life, a position that no one else can take. That triggers attachment and intrigue almost immediately. But the delivery matters as much as the word itself. Whispered in a moment of genuine appreciation, when she's laughing, sharing a passion, or confiding something meaningful, muse becomes a private signal of admiration. Say it too casually or without context, and it risks sounding pretentious or hollow. The right timing turns it into an emotional anchor she will unconsciously replay in her mind. Here's a psychological insight most men overlook. Women are drawn to men who see beyond the surface, who notice the patterns, the subtle cues, the uniqueness that others ignore. Muse does exactly that. It taps into her desire to be appreciated for her full self, not just her outward appearance. And here's the magic of it. Once a woman internalizes that feeling, she begins to associate you with emotional depth and understanding. She starts remembering your words, your attention, your presence. It's subtle, almost invisible, but powerful. And attraction, real attraction, thrives in those invisible spaces where others fail to reach. The fourth nickname that instantly creates magnetic tension is Phoenix. And no, it's not just poetic fluff, it's a psychological masterstroke. Why? Because it taps into her resilience, her hidden strength, and the parts of herself she doesn't show to everyone. Women are secretly obsessed with men who notice their inner fire, the battles they've fought, the walls they've built, the ways they rise from challenges. Phoenix says all of that in one word. Most men never see this side of a woman. They focus on the easy-to-notice traits, her looks, her smile, her charm. But the women who hold depth, the ones you actually want to attract, carry stories, scars, and victories that are invisible to the unobservant eye. When you call her Phoenix, you're signaling, I see the fire that others don't, and I admire it. That acknowledgement isn't just flattering, it's addictive. Here's the hidden psychology. Women are drawn to men who recognize their resilience because it validates their identity. It says, I see you, even when the world doesn't. That creates an emotional bond that is much stronger than casual compliments ever could. She starts to feel safe around you, not because you are predictable, but because you see her truth. And nothing triggers deep attraction faster than a man who sees her completely. Timing again is key. The nickname Phoenix works best when she's sharing a story of struggle, triumph, or a subtle moment of vulnerability. Whisper it at a peak emotional moment, and it instantly transforms her perception of you from another guy to someone rare, someone capable of understanding and admiration at the same time. And here's the secret most men don't realize. Women remember emotional intensity, not words. Phoenix becomes a trigger in her mind, a reminder of a connection that feels both powerful and intimate. Every time she thinks of her strength, she subconsciously links it back to you. That's how desire embeds itself without force. This is why personalized nicknames are more than playful. They are strategic. They bypass surface-level attraction and speak directly to the deeper emotional and psychological circuits that women respond to instinctively. You're not just building affection, You're creating a subtle, unforgettable imprint in her mind. The fifth nickname I want to teach you is Wildflower. At first glance, it sounds delicate, maybe even soft. But that's the genius of it. It's layered, and layers are irresistible. Wildflower communicates that you notice her beauty, yes, but more importantly, her independence, her unpredictability, the subtle strength she carries that most men overlook. Women crave recognition of their multidimensional nature, and this nickname delivers it without trying too hard. Here's the psychological mechanism at play. When you call a woman Wildflower, you're telling her, "I see the way you grow, the way you thrive even in unexpected places, the way you bloom differently than anyone else." That level of emotional acknowledgement is rare. Most men are drawn to what's visible, what's convenient. But when you reflect her complexity back to her in a single word, it triggers intense curiosity and attraction. Timing and delivery are critical. The perfect moment to use Wildflower is when she's sharing something personal, revealing a quirk, or showing her playful, untamed side. If you deliver it in the middle of a casual group conversation or without emotional context, it loses impact. But when used at a subtle, intimate moment, it acts as a private signal, creating a bond that feels exclusive and electric. Here's the subtle power you're leveraging. Women are wired to notice who truly sees them. Compliments about looks or achievements are surface level. Nicknames like Wildflower touch the deeper, emotional part of her brain, creating an invisible attachment. She doesn't just hear the word, she feels it, associates it with you, and begins replaying that emotional experience in her mind. And the push-pull effect? That's where attraction skyrockets. Wildflower suggests freedom, independence, and beauty, but the very fact that you name it creates a gentle tether. She feels both admired and subtly drawn to you. It's magnetic. She's not just thinking about you, she's feeling the way you perceive her, and that feeling is addictive. Most men never reach this level because they settle for generic charm. But nicknames, when strategically chosen, bypass ordinary attraction and embed a memory in her emotional wiring. This is the kind of subtle influence that creates intrigue, fascination, and desire, all without overt effort. The sixth nickname I want to share is Rogue, and this one is pure psychological fire. It speaks to her adventurous side, her playful mischief, and the unspoken part of her that craves excitement and unpredictability. When you call a woman rogue, you're signaling that you notice her spark, the part of her that refuses to be tamed, and that alone creates a subtle but powerful attraction. Most men avoid acknowledging the wild, untamed parts of a woman because they fear it will make her too much. But here's the truth. Women are irresistibly drawn to men who recognize and even celebrate their independence. Rogue is not just a cute nickname, it's a psychological cue that says, "I see your fire, and I'm not intimidated by it." That triggers curiosity, playfulness, and a desire to engage with you on deeper levels. The timing and context of delivery are everything. You don't just drop rogue randomly. You use it when she's laughing mischievously, teasing you, or showing that side of herself she normally keeps hidden. At that moment, it becomes a secret code between you, intimate, electric, and addictive. She can't explain why she feels drawn to you, but she does. Every time she recalls that moment, her brain links excitement and intrigue to your presence. Here's the hidden mechanism most men overlook. Nicknames like this bypass logic and speak directly to the subconscious. They don't just make her smile, they spark emotional patterns that trigger dopamine and oxytocin. She begins associating you with fun, thrill, and emotional intensity, all of which are incredibly attractive on a primal level. Rogue is subtle, yet it creates a push-pull dynamic. It acknowledges her freedom while gently anchoring her attention to you. That tension is irresistible. She doesn't just like you, she's curious, emotionally engaged, and wants to see more of how you respond to her energy. The most powerful part? These nicknames aren't tricks, they're tools for men who understand female psychology. They create emotional resonance, build connection, and ignite attraction in ways words like babe or honey never can. Once you understand this, you're not chasing her attention, you're naturally drawing it. And this is just the beginning. These carefully chosen names open doors that few men even realize exist, transforming ordinary interactions into unforgettable emotional experiences.